Hello students, now we are going to continue with the third part of the same lesson, that is the deep water by William Douglas. In the previous two parts, what we have learnt, how the fear started to grab on his mind about the water. Okay, and he tried to overcome it as he decided to learn swimming, but there also at the pool a mishap happened with him. So now we are going to continue with the remaining part. That is what, a few years later, he came to know the water of the cascade. Cascades means what? Waterfall. He wanted to get into them, so he wanted to enjoy that waterfall. Whenever he did so, the terror had seized him in the pool. Okay, so whatever he experienced in the pool, that fear again returned to him. His legs would become paralyzed, and icy horror would grab his heart, and this handicap remained with him even as the time passed. Whenever he went, the haunting fear of water followed him. It ruined his fishing trips. It deprived him of the joy of canoeing, boating, and swimming. So all these he deprived. He used every method he knew to overcome his fear. So he wanted to overcome on his fear. But finally, he decided to get an instructor to learn to swim. He went to a pool and practiced 5 days a week, an hour each day. The instructor put a belt around him. A rope attached to the belt went through a pulley on an overhead cable. He held on to the end of the rope. They went on this way for many weeks. On each trip across the pool, a bit of panic seized him. Okay, so whenever he tried with the same practice, a bit of panic seized him, grabbed him. So each time the instructor relaxed his hold on the rope and the author went under water. So that time, whenever the rope was relaxed by the instructor, this author started to went under the water. Somehow the old terror returned and his legs frozen. So that why he was again and again recalling his past memories. It was 3 months before the tension began to slack. So in this way, for the 3 months, the same practice it was going on, and after that he started to feel comfortable. Then the instructor taught him to put his head underwater and exhale, and to raise his nose and inhale. So that was the practice the instructor started with him. Then he repeated the exercise hundreds of times, and very slowly he shed some of the old panic as his head went under water. So he slowly started to shed his fear off. The instructor held him at the side of the pool and had him kick with his legs. So again, a step by step, he started to make him comfortable with the water. He did so for weeks. Gradually, his legs relaxed. Means whenever he entered in the water, his legs become frozen and paralyzed. But now he started to overcome it. Thus, the piece by piece, he built a swimmer. So, in a fragmented manner, he started to become a swimmer. When he had perfected each piece, he put them together into an integrated whole. So now he gathered all that togetherly, put togetherly, and he started to practice with that all. He had started practicing in October, and in April the trainer told him that he could swim. Now he is a perfect swimmer. That was announced by the trainer. He asked the water to dive off and swim the length of the pool. He began with crawl stroke. Crawl stroke means what? It is one of the strokes of the swimming, just like the butterfly stroke. Okay. So when he swam alone in the pool, tiny remnants of old terror would return. So still a little bit fear it was there in his mind, which was remained. But now he could rebuke his terror. This went on till July. So he was still not satisfied. So whatever the way or the manner with which he was swimming, he was not so satisfied. So he went to the lake Wentworth in New Hampshire. There he dived off a dock at Triggs Island. He swam 2 miles across the lake to Stamp Act Island. He swam the crawl, breaststroke, side stroke, and brag across the lake to and backstroke. The terror returned only once. When he was in the middle of the lake, he put his face under and he saw nothing but only bottomless water. He asked terror what it could do to him, and it fled away. So that was his confidence only who removed his fear. Some doubts still remained, so he went up the Titan to Conrad Meadows, up the Conrad Trail to Meat Glacier. He camped in the high meadow by the side of Warm Lake. Next morning he dived into the lake and swam across to the other shore and back. So that was his greater achievement. He shouted with joy, and Gilbert Peak returned the echo. So whatever the Gilbert Peak it was there, that echo returned to him. He had conquered his fear of water. So in this way, he was successful. The experience had a deeper meaning for him. So whatever that experience it was there for him, that was a greater or a deeper meaning for him. Only those who have known stark terror and conquered it can appreciate it. In death, there is peace. So whenever we die, there is a peace. But there is a terror only in the fear of the death. Okay, so we feared a lot about the death. Roosevelt knew it, and he said, all we have to fear is fear itself. So Douglas had experienced both the sensation of dying and the terror that fear of it can produce. The will to live somehow grew in intensity, and at last Douglas felt liberated, free, and he was free to walk and trails and climb the peaks and to ignore the fear. So that's how the author overcome his fear. So here we have completed the lesson. Thank you.